In the new 4 officials OPM, you will see that there are a few changes made for the Linesperson's procedure. Please note that these changes is only to be implemented in the 4 official system and not in the 3 official system if not noted in other way. We will first start off with a major change regarding the Linesperson having designated blue lines. Designated blue lines means that the Linesperson throughout the half of the game will work on a designated blue line. This will then be changed for the second half of the game to the opposite blue line than used at the first half. The basic cooperation and procedures for the Linespersons has not been changed. This means that Linesperson should work actively together and try to maintain a diagonal position to each other to make sure that they have the best basic positions to make the decisions. As shown in the video, this L1 having the main responsibility of the blue line will have the main responsibility of this blue line for the half of the game. Either the L1 has the responsibility of this for the first half of the game, or L2 will have this responsibility over this blue line for the first half of the game. This will then be changed throughout the game as we reach half part of the game. This means that this Linesperson is in charge from making the majority of the decisions on this blue line, regardless on which side the Linesperson is currently working on. The Linesperson could be on the speaker box side or could be on the player bench side, but still have the major responsibility for that blue line. This change in procedures is mainly to create a better opportunity for the Linespersons to know who's responsible and in charge for what blue line. This doesn't mean that the Linespersons will maintain this blue line regardless what happens, but it makes us having a better start to know and understand on what blue line you're in charge on. As you will see, this is a mean of tool that the Linesperson can use to make sure that they have a more consistent judgment and a higher standard on their designated blue line. It is important to note that in the majority of the tournaments that the IHF uses regarding the blue line procedures, we will have the coach's challenge for offside. This is also a mean to be more consistent when it comes to making calls within the judgment of coach's challenge and video review. As you will see here in this clip, the blue line is designated for the person dropping the puck in the end zone. But this doesn't mean that the Linesperson up by the blue line that is not dropping the puck will evacuate from the blue line right away. It is important that the Linesperson that is not conducting the face-off takes a big responsibility on the blue line and make sure that he or she covers the blue line prior to the Linesperson in charge of the blue line comes in place and takes over the judgment at the blue line. In this sequence, you will see that the L1 that is in charge of the blue line outside the white team's bench moves up in between the benches to be able to have a good player control when there's a scrum happening. This means that then the L2, the back Linesperson, needs to take over the responsibility for a shorter period of time while this Linesperson is breaking up the scrum. After this is done, when all the players is in control, the Linesperson will go back to be in charge of the blue line that he left. The next major change that you will notice is that we now also talk about designated face-off spots for the Linespersons. This is one step to be more consistent and have a more equal standard on all the face-offs throughout the game. This means that the Linespersons will, just like with the blue line, be in charge of designated face-off spots throughout the game. Just as with the designated blue line, the Linespersons will be in charge of designated face-off spots for the half period of the game and then change for the second period of the game. The designated face-off spots is in the same defensive side as they have the designated blue line. This means that if a Linesperson is having the designated blue line on the same side as the arrows in this picture, the Linesperson will make all the face-off on the 4 face-off dots in this designated half. Once half of the game have passed by, the linesperson will then change side and take part of the opposite side, where the linesperson will also take care of the designated blue line and make all the face-offs on the designated face-off spots. This is the basic procedure to be able to have a smooth operation where the linespersons can cooperate and work together to maintain a good standard on the face-off throughout the game. This procedure is also an important factor to keep up the pace in the game, to make sure that we have smooth stoppages of play. You will see this take place as we also then work with a procedure that is called the handoff. In this new procedure with the handoff, the linesperson at the designated face-off spots will make sure that he or she selects, or through the teams, select the face-off spot to be used for the next face-off. The linesperson will then indicate that position, and if needed, the other linesperson will pick up the puck and hand it over to the linesperson. As seen in this case, the puck is conveniently closely located to the linesperson so that the linesperson himself can pick up the puck. When we have, for example, icing situations, this is where we get a little bit more smooth in our operations. The linesperson that is in the back will have a good communication and overview of the players, just like in previous OPMs. The back linesperson will then have a good communication with the attacking team that have an opportunity to select which side the face-off will take place on. The linesperson will indicate that by pointing towards that face-off spot and take a proper position and wait for the puck to be received. As you will see in this video, the back linesperson is actively working with the non-offending team to select the right face-off spot, while the front linesperson is using active skating to pick up the puck and hand it over to the linesperson in charge of the face-off. Active skating and hustle is an important factor for the front linesperson picking up the puck and handing it over to the linesperson conducting the face-off. This is where we create pace and speed in our game. It is also important that when the linesperson hand off the puck, that he or she also uses active skating to take a position on the blue line so that the face-off can be conducted in a good pace. A good communication with the teams, where we actively work with our body language, especially as the back linesperson, will create a good and smooth procedure regarding the face-offs. It will also help that the colleague knows where to hand off the puck, and he or she can actively work with getting to the right position in time to have a smooth face-off procedure. Face-offs and designated blue line is a teamwork. Remember that this is a basic rule. If we are not able to do this once or twice, that's okay, but we should not bring bad habits into the game and work according to procedures.